This is such a bad present, looks so bad. Oh, okay, this is quite something because... Hi, welcome back to my channel, La Fraise. I'm Noémie and today we are seeing everything I've sewn this winter. So, taking my notes and going to show you everything I have sewn this winter. And actually between the last video where I showed you everything I've sewn in autumn and then the one where I showed you everything I've sewn in 2024, I think in the end I did nothing in December, which means that nothing came in this like gap between the two videos. But actually, I'm not fully sure if this is an early January or a December make. In any case, it was not in any of the roundups. So let's introduce my Uniqlo style bag, but the size medium, let's call it. And what an interesting piece to start with, because I have, how can I say this? I have never used this once. It's a bit weird because I absolutely love this piece and it really came out exactly as I wanted it. So the inside is super fun. It has a fun little tag I wanted. It's in a fun corduroy. I have cut the fabric so that the wheels are going diagonally and I think that's super cool. I have bought this really cool strap which I really like. So I don't know why I did not wear this. And this is waterproof as well, so no excuse. My previous Uniqlo style bag, the zip broke and I thought, well, I'm gonna replace it with this one, which is bigger. But actually, most days I don't need to take so much with me, so then I just take a smaller bag than this one to do the dog walk and everything. And then when I need to take more things with me, I tend to take a small backpack. I think when I would justify having the volume of taking this, I'm worried that it's a bit too much weight for my back. I have a really sensitive back. I really like it. This is really weird because this is literally a project that came out exactly as I wanted it to come out. Like, it's perfect. Like, I have nothing to say that I don't like about it. So good start. This project is perfect. I have never worn it. That's that. I can't really justify this. I don't have the price exactly for this because I use some of the corduroy that I bought for the pants that you're going to see next. And so I didn't really separate the price of the corduroy that was necessary for just the bag. But it wasn't so cheap because if you think, there's a bit of corduroy, that wasn't the expensive part, but there is some waxed cloth inside to make it waterproof. The lining, that's leftover fabrics, so let's not count that, but there are two zippers, the one inside and the one outside. I have bought the hardware here and the buckle here, and I have bought the strap, which was also I think €5 a meter. So all together it wasn't so cheap at all to make. But yeah, I really like it and I'm wondering if I will wear it or not. The future will tell us. But also now we're going into spring and this is definitely not a spring item. So who knows, surprise. But I just want to be really transparent with you guys. This has never ever been worn. The light is so harsh today. I really hope you guys can see a little bit. If you really can't see, I will put photos on screen, but then what's the point of me holding things up? I think it's the last very dark item, so the rest you should be able to see a little bit better. These are my Arden pants in the blue corduroy. I have been wearing them a ton. Actually, I can tell you exactly how many times I have worn them so far. I have worn them already 24 times this winter since they've been made. Basically, before I had my second pair of corduroy pants that I'm going to mention later, I was wearing those on repeat. They were my only really warm pair of pants. So really nice during winter. They were basically coming out of the wash and then straight back onto my body because they have an elasticated back. They're like secret pajamas, or maybe not so secret. I don't know how obviously pajamas those are. They have very nice roomy pockets because the Arden pants come with really big pockets already. I have an elasticated waist back and basically you can see Everything about me making them in the video I have about them, but I already have worn them a ton and they cost me about 40 euros. I clearly rounded up and I didn't put the details for those ones, but I priced them at 40 euros. So super cozy, already basically almost 30 wears on them, so it's quite good. The next two items I don't have to show you. I made two zippered pouches to use up that How So Dreadful pink faux fur I had from Legally Blonde. So I made a pink faux fur coat last year and I had some of that faux fur left. I was like, it's pure polyester, I have to use it up, I have to, you know, not just have it go to landfill. So I made two pouches for friends who were in the musical. The thing is, the faux fur is so slippery, the pouches are definitely wonky. I mean, they're not rectangular, they're more artistic shapes. And on the photo I took, I placed them so that you couldn't really tell, but I can promise you they're just not the shape you would hope them to be. I hope the friends were still happy to receive a little something made with something from the show, but I was like, I can't waste the fabric, and at the end I was like, this is such a bad present, looks so bad, but well, I made something and I gave it to them, and that's that. Pouches were made. The fire dress. Oh, okay, this is quite something because I sewed 3 dresses for the Panto of Brussels, and I actually filmed myself making those 3 dresses, and that video, as you know, if you watch my videos often, it never went online because I was really like, this is not beautiful sewing, this is not high quality sewing, this is not something I was particularly proud of. So in the end I kept the fire dress as the one that I'm keeping in my list as something I've made, but actually I officially made 3 dresses. One was a tent dress, and basically all I've done is chop the bottom of a tent so that you could slip yourself into it, make a hole for the head and do a bias binding so that the hole wouldn't fray or wouldn't damage or wouldn't like rip on stage. And that was almost it. So I basically made a whole, like, I literally chopped a tent up a little bit and it didn't look nice, and it really smelled like an old tent while I was working, and I was like, poor machine, it has to like touch this gross tent. So I wasn't particularly proud of this one. You can however see it next to the Campfire dress I made. And the third dress I made did not even make it on stage in the end. It was a disco ball dress, and I basically started, I was given this really big bow-like structure, and I made a t-shirt that would fit over the bow. I used the Jackson tee shape. I made it to size for the actress, and then I made it so that it would fit over this massive thing, and you had ties at the bottom of the dress so that you could tie it back and bring the dress back together so that it would give you this bow effect. After that, that's the structure of the dress in a black jersey. I had this sparkly fabric that I put around it, and that came a bit closer to the disco ball, but when I delivered the dress they were still meant to add ridges to really make it look like a disco ball, and in the end, various reasons, but the dress didn't make it on the show at all. So I don't even have a final photo because I don't think the dress was finished in the end. So for my final tally of things that I've made at the end of the year, I'm basically just counting the Campfire dress, because I've made the red dress that is underneath everything. By the way, I'm giving you 5 seconds to guess which pattern I used for this, and if you know my favorite patterns you might guess. I'm giving you a second. It's a tank top from the fabric store. Yes, I took the tank top, I took it in the size so that it would fit the actor who was wearing it, and then I just made it into a trapeze dress, and I was like, that tank top pattern really does it all. I have added a zipper in the back, so I've made it more fancy than it was originally, but I wanted to make sure that he could get in the dress, and I didn't want to risk damaging the wig or anything while he was putting the dress on and off, so I was like, a zipper is going to be much easier. I did the logs myself, so basically shaped those logs in craft foam, and then I was given the first little piece of flame, and then I hand sewed all of those flames on the dress by hand. I think why I was a bit upset and why I didn't put the video, also I just didn't think it was very interesting to show or to see. Again, it wasn't very like pretty sewing. But that dress, I was like, the hours I spent on it, because every flame is sewn by hand on the thing, and basically I was shaping the flame as I went. It took me hours. I kind of thought, oh, in an afternoon it'll be done. Like, no, hand sewing flames on, that took forever, and it doesn't even look that good. I was really like, I took the time to make a ball gown, and I made what looks like a craft project, which again, it's totally fine. It was a panto, and if you know the panto style of costume, like, it's not the end of the world. But there was just like the time I spent on this and how ugly it is, it's quite something. So not my favorite make. You know, it was experience in costume. It kind of taught me as well what I would want and not want to do. And I realized I prefer something where I'm going to be sure to be proud of what I've made afterwards. It actually matters quite a bit to me. So yeah, but you live and learn, don't you? So that's my Campfire dress. So in the final tally, again, because I had to kind of make decisions about this, being like, at the end of the year, do I count 3 dresses, do I count whatever? For example, the pouches, that's going to count as 1 item in my end of year tally, and I'm just counting the Campfire dress at the end of the year, and the tent and the disco ball, we're just going to forget that happened. Then, counting as 2 different items here, don't know why, but here you are, those ones count as 2. I have my 2 pairs of pyjamas, and they cost 23 euros of fabric plus 4 euros of elastic, so that's 27 euros each, which is expensive for pyjamas, but it's a very nice French terry. It's a French terry from See You at 6. It's very, very, how do I want to say this? It's very like voluptuous, like it's very thick and very cozy, and honestly you really feel like you putting your bum in pure coziness when you put that. And they were both exactly my colors, like a mint green, yes, and a kind of peachy baby pink, yes, as well. So those are my 2 pairs of pyjamas that I wanted to be super cozy in for winter. I kind of felt like when I was at home I didn't have enough cozy options. They both have a lovely little tag from my Callie and the Machine advent calendar. So yeah, what to say? Oh, you might know or not, those are 2 Arden pants. So that is 3 Arden pants to start the year, the corduroy one and then the 2 pyjama ones. Yes, I love that pattern so much. I can now do it with my eyes closed, and obviously for the pyjamas I do it without the pockets, without any of the details, so they're super quick to make, and I love this shape and they're so comfortable. They made me very happy. Now I feel like it's going to start to be a bit warm for them, but while it was cold, they brought me much joy. Next up is the Sandpiper I made for my friend Claudia, and you have seen them because they are the one I used to make the sew along for. They are a pair of fully reversible swimsuits, and I have made a little ruched back at the waistline on the top and the bottom so that it would hug her hourglass figure. They were literally my best swim ensemble made yet. Like, I really did a good job on them. They look really nice. They are reversible because the finishing is so nice. When you never had a bikini that suits you nicely, all of a sudden having swimwear that fits, it's kind of life-changing. So she was really happy. I was very happy. She was very happy. The swimsuit cost 37 euros. That's counting the fabric, the elastic, the thread, I mean all of the details. Basically I counted all the materials in the 37 euros, but I don't have the detail of that. But just as a note, I don't know if you find this expensive or not, but obviously swimsuit fabric of a nice quality is a bit more on the pricey side. And we're following on to this swimsuit I made for my wife. So the story is, last summer she had her own swimsuit, which is this one, so that's not made by me, that's Fat Face I believe, and she was wearing that to the beach. and this, and I was wearing my Sandpiper, made by me, of course, and she was really jealous because this is obviously from another era before high-waisted things were really fashionable, and so she felt out of fashion with her top here. And so the goal was make a pair of swimsuit bottoms, Sandpiper of course, that would match her bikini top here. And I was like, well, I do have leftover dark blue swimsuit here, so I can totally make this, and now you have a high-waisted option to go with your swimsuit and it'll go perfectly and you can be a cool girl like me. So I did that, but then I was pretty much trying to use up the end of my lycra, because if you follow the whole story, I made a whole bunch of bikinis. You can see it here as well. It's using up some of my light blue. Basically, it's a bit of a Frankenstein bikini, this one. The outside looks fine, but the inside, it's all the leftovers. And same here, it's partly fine and then partly some of that light blue that I was trying to use up. So basically she has a top. I've made so many in this fabric now, but I made one for her as well, so she can wear either. So with her blue bottom, she can either wear this and it works really nicely, or she can wear her original bikini top and they both work really nicely. So made a swimsuit for a friend, made a swimsuit for my wife. She's really happy. I don't really have a price for her swimsuit because I used all secondhand, not secondhand, I used all end of stash fabric for her. I basically tried to use up my stash to make her swimsuit. So that's my wife's swimsuit. Then we are going to the hankies. So I made 5 handkerchiefs, and that I'm telling you now, but I won't count it in my end of the year tally. But I made those very cute handkerchief in this little pink fabric with very cute little cat. And what is crazy about it is that I have made mitered corners for them, because apparently I stop at nothing nowadays. They're not ironed, so I feel like this doesn't give them proper justice, but you can see the mitered corners. So I really gave my all for those handkerchiefs. Now I have to say, I chose a much thinner cotton than usual. I have been finding that when I make new handkerchiefs with the very stiff cotton, sometimes it feels like you're blowing your nose in cardboard a little bit, so I wanted a thinner cotton to start with, and they're much softer on your nose, but they also feel a bit, it's gonna be a bit TMI, they also feel a bit too thin, and I think it's fine. Honestly, my hands were always clean, but it feels like it doesn't hold everything inside like you'd want your handkerchief to do. So I think I will not do that again to buy a thinner fabric. I will get the sturdier cotton and let it soften with washes. Anyway, you wash your handkerchief so often at so hot temperature, it really does soften the cotton, and I think it's a better way to do it and still have something that holds everything inside like you want it to, than something that starts soft but maybe doesn't do the best job at keeping the content of your nose in it. Lovely. I hope you're very happy that we had this talk. Then we have Palisade short and Palisade pants. I don't have the pants because they're in the wash. Testament that I'm wearing them, but the shorts are here. The Palisade shorts and pants were not a crowd favorite, and I kind of see why. The shorts, I do like that they have the little brown peekaboo here. I also have a whole video on making them, so if you want to see more detail, make sure to go and see the video. Basically, I think the shorts people are not a fan because they're quite long, and fair enough. I know they're really not a sexy, good looking length, but honestly in Brussels, there's no point for me to make shorts that are super short that I'm not going to be comfortable wearing in the city. Like, people don't wear so short things. You do get looks and it's just not comfortable in the street to be in too short things. So unfashionable length, you know, the like between shorts and almost like Bermudas. Is that a word in English? In any case, I know that the length is not great for style, but sometimes when you sew, you also have to just think about the reality of your lifestyle, and that I'll be able to go out in during the summer and be actually fresh and comfortable and not have shorts that look fun, but then I can wear them just at home, and then what's the point? Not a crowd favorite, I kind of see why, but I think they're going to be very useful in the summer. And those cost me 16 euros, so that's 12 euros of fabric and then about 4 euros. What did I count the 4 euros for? I think it's the elastic slash the grosgrain. So 16 euros for the short, which I think is fine. And that has been rescued from the gathered skirt I had made a couple of seasons ago and that I never wore. So at least that fabric has been used, has a new life, and is going to be worn on my body, so that's good. And for the Palisade pants, which I can't show you, but I mean, you've seen them already. Those were 40 euros, so 33 euros worth of fabric, 4 euros of thread, and again 4 euros of elastic / grow grain. Here they were not everyone's cup of tea, and I think it's because they do have a fairly strong grandpa vibe. Like, I can see that the color is quite grandpa-y, and obviously the corduroy, if you don't choose the right color, it can look a bit grandpa. I'm not feeling like the sexiest lady on the block when I'm wearing those, but again, they are cozy, they are warm. When I have long hours of classes and I just want secret pajamas, they have a semi-elasticated waist, keeps me warm and cozy, so I guess it's fine if those makes are not like super good looking. I think they are functional. I think they both fulfill the job that I was hoping for them to fulfill in my wardrobe, so gonna call that fine. Also those corduroy Palisade. Oh, by the way, it's Palisade. I have checked that after the video where I say it about a million times. Palisade, sorry. I'll correct it from now on, but I have a whole video where I said wrong, so whatever. The Palisade, I was a bit upset at the fabric being damaged in the first wash. I find that once it is on you, it's pretty unnoticeable, and also through washes it hasn't got worse. So at least that's a good thing, that I haven't seen the quality really going down wash to wash, and that first wash was not great, but it didn't get much worse as it went. I already have 7 wears on those, but they're just a few weeks old at this point. So I think it's good for them. And finally we have you will have seen this in last week's video, my Archer shirt. This cost me 10 euros worth of fabric and 4 euros worth of thread, so that is a total of 14 euros, which I think for a shirt is really good. I am already worried about one thing about this, and it's that it marks sweat, and I'm a very sweaty person. Again, you are born that way or you're not, woohoo! But so because I'm quite sweaty, that type of plain fabric that shows sweat, I don't know if I'm going to be able to wear this comfortably. That's a big issue for me, and that is why I tend to wear a ton of like pattern pieces like this on top, because that camouflages sweats so much better. So I hope we have a long life together, this shirt and I, to live, because I really like it. I really like the color. I think I made it well. Like, I really took my time, and I normally when stuff goes kind of wrong, I'm like, oh, whatever, it's fine, no one knows. And here I unpicked and tried to make it as well as possible. So I really put my time and my heart into this, so now I kind of want to be able to wear it. So I hope that the sweat thing is not going to be an issue. It is very, very lightweight, and I think I'm going to be able to wear it either just as a shirt or also on top of things, maybe in the summer, to just protect my shoulder from the sun. So it's a bit early for me to tell you what I think about it. I have not worn it outside of the 2 videos I have filmed wearing it. I feel like not tucked in, it is a bit too boxy, and on my shape I don't find it super flattering. I find that it creates maybe a bit too much volume, and I find myself voluminous enough, let's just say it that way. Jury's out on the fit and on how much I wear it. I mean, it's really early to tell you all of this, but obviously it needed to be included in the roundup. So if you want to know more about the shirts, I have an entire video about this one. And yeah, I mean, I really like the color and I really like the softness of the cotton. I think this shirt has a lot of positive for it. I think I'm going to have to iron it every time, that I'm not looking forward to. Big question mark as to if this is going to work in my wardrobe and be wearable or not. So let's quickly go into what I'm going to sew and what you're going to see on the channel in this spring. So not a surprise if you know that I have a whole shirt series coming your way, but basically I'm going to make another 3 shirts, so that's a given that this is going to happen this spring. I have talked about this project so much. At this point, I can't mention it anymore. I feel like it's a joke. I really want to make a patina blouse from Friday Pat & Co. at some point. Patina blouse in this. This is a viscose. This is super nice and drapey. That's basically all of my plans. The rest has basically not changed. Patina, Palisade, the shirt, like everything is the same on my list. But I have my patina blouse cut now. Like the project is cut and ready to go. So I need to sew together my patina and finally finish and finally not have this on my to sew pile. I also have a project bag that is cut and ready to sew, and I also have bra and legging that are both from my Make 9 that are kind of at the top of the pile and looking at me and needing to be sewn. So a lot of shirts, the patina blouse, and then bra / leggings. That might also happen in the spring. And then obviously all of my school stuff. We are starting with the suit bag and then moving on to the Celtic breeches. Fun times. So that is everything I'm going to be sewing in the coming weeks. I would like to thank Isabel for tipping me a coffee. Thank you so much, Isabel. This is so appreciated. Don't hesitate to give this video a like, and I shall see you in the next one. Don't forget that you can make anything. Bye!